we've all been there, watching Netflix or playing video games, watching YouTube videos, instead of actually working or being productive of any kind of sort, right? We tend to get consumed by different social media, or any kind of media for that matter, because it's fun. And we like things that are fun, right? We don't like spending energy or working. Aside from that little voice at the back of your mind, some friend or a family member might comment on how much you've been procrastinating recently and how much you've been kind of slacking on your work. So it all registers kind of, but you don't really care. And one day you notice a video about productivity, how to be more organized and stuff like that. You're like, okay, I have 10 minutes to spare. I can watch this. Maybe this will help me. And you watch the video. They have some interesting tips or something that you resonate with. And you say, okay, that was kind of interesting. I could see how this could help me. Yeah, I feel like I've learned something. I want to learn more. You go down a very, very deep hole of researching self-help, reading articles, watching videos, reading books, following courses on how to be a better version of yourself. And this is all rooted in wanting to change, because we all like to be productive because that's what's socially acceptable, as opposed to not being productive or being lazy or procrastinating. So you go down this rabbit hole of just learning, and then nothing. You have not changed one bit. And why is this? Because you've been consumed in taking all of this information, tips, tricks, that you've forgotten to actually use it in actual practical setting. So you're not really learning because you're just intaking it. You're not putting the tips into action. And that's the tricky part. A lot of people, they feel the pressure of having to learn everything and be perfect. And they always get this feeling that there's something more to learn out there. But the reality is there probably isn't. Like, most of these tips and tricks are very basic, and they're just common sense. Of course, there are a few like nice apps or like specific methods of approaching task management, but they're all kind of basic and they might not work for everyone. The whole goal of self-help is to actually change, and you're not changing if you're not doing. So I suggest go check out a subreddit called Get Disciplined. It has its pros and cons, obviously. It has some great advice. However, there are also a lot of scammers on there, and there's also a lot of just very basic, kind of almost preachy advice on there. But if you know how to curate information, you can actually get some really decent advice, which I can get into on another video, like my personal, how I approach life or like organizing my tasks. But yeah, basically, if my whole point is that you should stop like consuming information because you feel like you're improving. You get dopamine from learning these things. You feel like you're improving, but you're not actually doing so. I suggest checking out a video by James Jenny. Sorry if I'm butchering his name, but I'll link it down in the description. He actually does a very great job on like doing a deep dive on like the toxicity of self-help industry and the culture. It's an amazing video, so I definitely recommend you check it out. My point is, don't consume excessively and actually practice what you learn. Maybe a good rule of thumb is for every 3 tips you learn, you have to implement them and then learn another 2, 3, or whatever works for you. But make sure to not get caught up in learning and trick your mind into thinking you're actually improving when you're not. And yeah, I've just heard it out on this YouTube channel because I always wanted to try. And yeah, if you like this kind of content, please subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.